She can celebrate sometime. All right. Y equals 1 over 8 x squared. We are going to list all the important characteristics, and we're going to graph it. And students kind of gave me a tough time about graphing these. They said I was being a little bit too picky. My goal is to try to draw a perfect parabola. And a perfect parabola is when the distance from the point and the directrix is the same as the distance from the point and the focus. So I'll show you what that is. So you got to make it fun. And sometimes parabolas aren't real fun, but if you make a challenge, like I want to try to draw this just right, then sometimes it works out for the better. So we're going to list these important pieces: the vertex, the direction, the axis of symmetry, the focus, the directrix, and the length of the lattice rectum. Thank you, Jacob. Yep. So, A for the day. Who can tell me where the vertex is located for that parabola? Yes. Why? There's no shift. Yep, there's no shift that's happening. You don't have a vertical piece, you don't have a horizontal component. It's centered at 0, 0. Okay. So the direction, is this a vertical or horizontal parabola? Which one is it? Y. Because it's y equals an x squared. If you have an x squared and it's y equals, then it's vertical, just like what we've always done. But if it's x equals a y squared, then it's horizontal. So it is vertical. So is it going to go up or down? Why? Because it's positive. So the direction is up. Now, I highly encourage you. Some people want to, label everything and then draw the graph. I would do it hand in hand. So as you do one part, I'd go ahead and do the other, because as we start shifting things later, it's going to be much more difficult if we just try to do all the characteristics first. Okay, so I'm going to label 0, 0. The axis of symmetry, if this parabola goes up, and if it goes up, what kind of line is going to split it in half? A vertical line or a horizontal line? Vertical line. So the axis of symmetry is going to go right down the middle. So it'll go right through the vertex. What is the equation for that axis of symmetry? X equals 0. In order to find the focus, the directrix, and the length of the lattice rectum, I have to find a certain value. P. So A equals 1 over 4P. What is my A value in this problem? This is always an equation that we use. And we're going to take the A value, the value in front of the x squared, and that's A. So 1 over 8 is equal to 1 over 4P. And I cross multiply. 4P equals 8. So P is 2. If you remember from the notes, P is important because it tells us how many units away the focus is from the vertex. Now, if this parabola goes up, do you know, does the focus sit on the inside of the parabola or on the outside? It sits on the inside. So will I move up 2 units or down 2? Up 2 units. So that's my focus. Now that I have plotted that focus, I will now name it. A lot of people try to name it first and then plot it. Just plot it, then name it. What's the coordinate? 0, 2. The directrix is also P units away from the vertex. Does it sit on the inside or outside? Outside, so I will go down 2 units. And the directrix is a line. It is perpendicular to the axis of symmetry. Hi, Connor. Good to see you. Okay, so is that x equals or y equals? Y equals, and what is the y value that passes through? -2. We're almost done. Now I just need to identify the length of the lattice rectum. Length of lattice rectum is the absolute value of 4p. What's the absolute value of 4p? 8. So the lattice rectum is a segment. It goes through the focus. That's just in our notes. That is going to be the formula that we use to find the length of the lattice rectum. So always the length of the lattice rectum will be the absolute value of 4p. So we take the absolute value of 4 times 2, which will be the absolute value of 8, which is 8. So that means that if the segment goes right through the focus, it'll have 4 units on one side and 4 units on the other for a total of 8, correct? So I'm going to sketch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what's nice is this tells me how wide I need to make my parabola. So again, before you've never known how wide to make your parabola. I know that this segment, this lattice rectum, it tells me again how wide the parabola comes right off the vertex. So as I go to sketch this, I'll start at the vertex and I will draw my parabola through those points of the lattice rectum. That's how wide I should make it. Now, how do I tell if I've drawn it accurately? You don't have to do this. We are done. That's what you're expected to do. And we'll do 2 more problems in class. And by the time we do the second one, you'll feel pretty confident. That's at least how third hour is feeling. If I pick a point, so this is the definition of a parabola. This is what I like to do. If you pick a point on your parabola, the distance from the focus to that point should be the same distance as from that point to the directrix. What do you think? Did I do a good job? What? I think it's pretty good. Oh, no! Yeah, I am just a little bit short there, but that was pretty good. Pretty good. I don't want to brag. Everybody has their talents. Everybody has goals for the day. You woke up this morning and said, what are you going to do with your day to get better? I said, I'm going to draw a perfect parabola. I don't know what you said. You're going to eat a donut or something. I don't know. Okay. Okay. So we'll do 2 more together. The next one. The equation is not quite set up right for me. It should be an x equals or y equals equation. Can you tell by looking at this, will it be x equals or y equals? How come? Because it's y squared. Very good. So since it's y squared, I solve for x. So I get x is equal to 1/2 y squared. Need pencil. Oh, good photographic memory. Got it. Got it. All right. X equals 1/2 y squared. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to list all the important characteristics. The vertex, the direction, the axis of symmetry, the focus, the directrix, and the length of the lattice rectum. Thank you. So we will, we'll sketch the graph. I use my handy dandy super straight line. Pretty awesome. All right. Now, what's my vertex? 0, 0. I'm giving you all 0, 0 ones today. We'll do the shifted ones later. The direction, up, down, right, left. It's right. How come? It's x equals, so it's horizontal. It's positive, so it goes to the right. So I will plot my vertex, and again, it will open up this direction. So the axis of symmetry will be a horizontal axis or a vertical axis. Horizontal. It will split it right in half. So the equation is y equals 0. It will split the parabola directly into congruent parts. In order to figure out the last three, I need to find what value? P. So I take A and set it equal to 1 over 4P. Cross multiply, 4P is 2. So P is 1/2. So a lot of people at this point, they're like, okay, so what's the location of the focus? Well, instead of figuring that out, just graph it first and then decide. So I'm going to start graphing. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to draw my perfect parabola again, because that's what I do. Excellence. All right, my beautiful graph. P is 1/2. So am I going to move a half unit to the right or a half unit to the left, half unit up or half unit down? To the right. It sits on the inside of the parabola. So if it's opening up to the right, then the focus sits 1/2 of a unit from the center or from the vertex right on the inside. So we got half of a unit right there. Now that I plotted it, it's easier for me to name it. What is that location? 1/2, 0. The directrix, again, is P units away, but it sits on the outside. So it will go through that point. X equals or Y equals? What's the value? -1/2. Tyler's smart. All right. Emily's smart too. All right. Absolute value of 4P. What's the absolute value of 4P? Close. There you go. So it goes, if it's 2 units of length, it will be 1 unit in each direction, right? And from your focus, it goes through the focus. Another name for it is the focal diameter, okay? So we're going to go 1 unit in each direction, and that will tell me how wide to make my parabola. I did go 2. It has a length of 2. From 1 to -1 is the length of 2, correct? Yes. So I take whatever the length of the lattice rectum is, and I divide it in half. I go that many units in each direction. That way I get the whole piece. Now I'm going to draw it. And again, the definition of a parabola is all points that are equidistant from the focus and the directrix. So I can see how good of a job I've done. What do you think? Annika says yes. What the other one? Which one? The green one? Okay, which one's longer? The sideways one? Okay, so I think that one's a little bit longer too. I guess we could try to measure. We need to. Oh my gosh. I mean, come on. I mean, Fran, can you ask for much more? No. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So Connor tried to ruin my day by saying that I was inaccurate. I think that's probably the best one I've ever done. Can I get a round of applause, please? Somebody. Oh, all right. All right, our last one. What should we do? Last one. Solve for y. Are you sure? Are you positive? Willing to wager? She's right. Okay, so we got 7y is equal to negative 4x squared. So y is equal to negative 4 over 7 times x squared. That's what we have. We label all the important parts. Vertex, direction, axis of symmetry, focus, directrix, and length of lattice rectum. My handy dandy super straight line. We do not discriminate against rational numbers. It's mathematics. What is the vertex? 0. Which direction does it open? Are you sure? Yep. It's a y equals x squared, so therefore it's vertical, and since it's negative, it opens down. The axis of symmetry, will that be vertical or horizontal? It will be vertical. So therefore it is x equals 0. In order to find the next three, I have to solve for p. 1 over 4p is equal to a, which is negative 4 over 7. Negative 16p is equal to 7, so p is negative 7/16. So it's vertical. Instead of going up 7/16, I go down 7/16. I'm going to start to make my graph here. Okay, there we have it. So if I plot this focal point, 7/16 is just short of a half, correct? Right about there. What's that coordinate going to be? And the directrix will be 7/16 units on the other side. Is that going to be an x equals or a y equals? Y equals 7/16. It's a horizontal line. Length of the lattice rectum. What? Negative 20 over 16. We reduce fractions. Right? Negative 7 over 16 times 4 over 1. You got to take the absolute value. So 4 over 16 reduces to 1 over 4. So we've got negative 7 over 4. Absolute value is positive 7 over 4. So the absolute value of 4p is the length of the lattice rectum. Simply plug it in and make sure that you reduce your fractions accordingly. I did have to take some points off of your final exam, which I felt very bad about. Some of you did not reduce numbers like, what, I don't know, like 35 over 28 or something like that. So we get 7/4. What's half of 7/4? 7/8. So I'm going to go 7/8 units in each direction, which is just short of 1. And I will connect those together. That is my lattice rectum. I will then, from my vertex, draw through the endpoints of the lattice rectum. And if I pick a point, the distance from the focus, not my best, huh? Oh well. Try again. You could try when you do it and see how close you are. Well, that's not exactly perpendicular, is it? Boy, I'm falling off. I must need a break. I'm worn out from teaching. That's it. We won't do the last one. And yours is different anyway. It doesn't matter. You got enough practice. Get the idea? Ready to execute? Okay. Remember, you are now in the mode of converting to long-term memory. All right? You've tried problems with me. It's been on the working table. You are now entering the practice mode. After you practice, you then need to sleep. Yes. I am there to help you.